Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CLX Foundry Live right here now on Kick. I'm your host, DJ BluePDX, and of course, joining me in the studio, it is Paul Steffens, our lead technical expert, and today's master builder, it's Hayden Hutchinson.
What's up, guys?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
So, it has been a fun month, and we've still got, like, what, 5-6 days left in it? Mm-hmm. And that, for what I'm talking about, is the amazing giveaway that's behind them. As you can see right there, that is our July giveaway with partnership with Beacon. And so the winner is not only going to get that amazing Kick-themed PC in an NV7 case, they're also going to be getting a Mix Create by Beacon and one of the new Beacon mics. So if you'd like to know more, type !give Kick in the chat. And when you do that, you'll get a link, follow all the instructions. Pay attention, by the way, because there are different places and ways that you can get codes. You can find codes on our social media. That's YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter at CLX Gaming, right here on our channel, on our other channel, and of course on in our Discord. That's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can also get them on my stream, and today we'll have one after this show over there on my stream on Kick. In the meantime, we've got an incredible PC to build for a gentleman named Jacob in Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so starting out, we've got one of our raws here. So for our processor, we've got an Intel i9-13900KF. Cooling that, we've got our CLX Quench 360mm AIO. For our motherboard, we've got the MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Geil 16 gig DDR5-5200 in RGB. For our storage, we've got a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe drive from Patriot, and then we've got a 4 terabyte mechanical drive from Western Digital. For our video card, we've got an RTX 4090. We've got 10 case fans going in this with a Gigabyte 1000 watt UD 80 plus gold fully modular power supply. And for our case, this is our special edition raw in the 011. It's been a minute since we built one of these, and this case just looks amazing.
Yeah, those things are always gorgeous. Always gorgeous. By the way, there's an early bird code, people. Kick UPAC. Kick that UPAC. 25 people. Get it good. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so some of the fun features about this case. First of all, it is decorated all the way around. The front, the back, the whole thing. Man. It's absolutely incredible. It's the same case as mine, just with a completely different paint job. You think the honeycomb would give you anxiety? Oh yeah, no. I'm just sad that it's not buttons, because of course my first thought is, ooh, buttons, and then of course it's not really buttons, but you know, there you go.
All right.
That would be interesting, is to take a little rubber toy of an octopus and then take the arms and glue them out of those holes. That'd be funny.
There you
go. All
right, so we got the panels off this case. Hayden's going to remove our cable management panel to get access to all those case cables, and then we will get right into our motherboard and start building that. So I'm going to start separating out these parts.
Since we're doing 10 fans, we gotta take out these trays.
Going to take out those trays as well, yeah.
Okay. Now, since we're going to take out those rear trays, not all systems require that. But what is the advantage of being able to remove those and have fans in the back of the system as well as the bottom and top?
Yeah, so this is just going to give us 3 more extra intake fans to just give us a little bit better airflow throughout this whole case.
Gotcha. Which is funny because, and on mine, for example, we have 6 on that, 3 in the back, and then the radiator and 3 in the front. And I wasn't so sure that air would flow. I mean, after the disaster of my previous gaming PC's considerable lack of airflow, I wasn't quite sure that I would be able to, that the air would come in. I was very, very wrong. The air just flows like crazy through that thing. It's gorgeous. Lots of fun.
Yeah, this case has really great airflow. Even with just a 7-fan configuration, it's great. But going up to 10 or even more, it's always good.
Well, and we've got other versions than just the red version.
Yeah, we've got.
How many different versions are there for the raw?
For the raw, I believe right now we have 3 designs for this case specifically, and we're going to be coming out with some more. But we have them on our Horus as well and our Scarab. So
nice. Yeah, which is the one that has the green one? I think that's the Horus.
Right, and actually, no, we have 4 for the rocks. We've got the red and the gold, and then we've got the Vice and the Sakura season. Yep.
There we go.
Same style of print. The Horus is the green one.
Right.
Yep.
And then now there's one more, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. There's
There
so many, I
probably
can't remember.
is. Don't know if it's out yet. I'll trade you real quick.
I gotta
Hayden.
get that prepped.
Yeah, for sure. Get those bundled up there. Now we'll get into the motherboard.
Okay. While he's unpacking the motherboard, and we've got it at this angle, it'll be easy to show people. Can you explain what those 2 doors are, and then why we call this frame a 2/3 frame?
Yeah, so these doors right here, you can see they've got a thumb screw at the top. This is where our extra drives are going to be. So we do have an extra mechanical drive in this build, so that's where this will be going. This is just a thumb screw you can pop off. This door comes off, and you get access to your 2 trays. Now, what's unique about this case, being the XL, these are hot swappable trays. So all we'll have to do is pull the tray out, mount the hard drive, and it will plug into the cables already in the back. So we'll kind of show that a little bit more later once we get further into the build. But each one of these bays here has its own SATA power and SATA data connections.
Which makes it so easy if you just want to pop and swap your hard drives for projects. Nice. Sounds like a fun build there, Dundee. All right, let's start talking about this motherboard. This is an MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi motherboard. These are really fun and cool because of the way that they're unique cooling all the way around. You've also got your cooling plates. That's not what they're called. the M.2 plates, M.2 covers. Heat shields. There's the word I was looking for. Right there it is, PCIe 5, which is backwards compatible all the way down, obviously. And as for the processor, it's going to be on a Z790 chipset. This, of course, is a i9 13900KF. And for those of you who don't know what the KF stands for, Paul, walk us through the different nomenclatures real quick.
Yeah, so the K means that this is overclocked or unlocked so that you can overclock it, and the F just means it doesn't have onboard video. Now, in most builds, you have a video card running your video, so we're not worried about having onboard video. So that's what that is.
Yep.
M.2.
M.2 coming up next. All right, now for this M.2, this is the first time I've seen us use one of these. It's a 1 terabyte Patriot P300 M.2 NVMe. Now, what's great about these is these sit right on the hard drive. They plug right on the motherboard. They plug directly in, and there are multiple different places to plug it in. But we're going to do it on the top one, which is right. Did you not even have to do a screw?
Yeah, I was gonna
so this motherboard has this little clip. And so
That is awesome.
you can see, I don't know, it should pick it up, yeah. There's those little grooves right there. And on the back of this, there's those 2 circles. And that literally just slides into place.
That makes it so much easier.
And it's the best part about the board. I really like it.
Yeah, it is really nice not having to fumble around with an M.2 screw for sure. And then even, you'll see as Hayden gets that in there, it just has a little tab that swivels around to hold it in place. Right there.
Now, as you all noticed, Hayden, you pulled something off of the, I would say, the heat shield tape, or the...
Yep. No, it
what would
was...
you call that?
This is the thermal pads.
Thermal pads. Yep. Do they come with a covering on them?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure every single motherboard, at least newer, is going to have some plastic. You want to remove that plastic so that you are not melting.
Yeah.
Or then it just defeats the purpose of the actual thermal paste itself. So.
Yep. Real quick before we get farther into it, let's take a look at that I/O shield so people can see what kind of connectivity this board has. Starting at the very top, we've obviously got our HDMI and DisplayPort, which we're not really going to be using because we've got that incredible graphics card. There are 4 USB 3.2s, 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2s, and that's that upper USB-C is included in that, and then that lower USB-C is actually a 3.2 times 2, which means you've got 10 gigs up and 10 gigs down. Right above there is that 2.5 gig Dragon port. You've got your Wi-Fi and then all of your audio options. That's Wi-Fi 6E. So there we go. And this also comes with Bluetooth 5.3.
And it also comes with the CMOS and the flash BIOS button, which is great.
Oh, yeah. Makes it so much easier. Man, back in the day, we had to use the little pen hoppers.
Little jumpers, yeah. Go ahead and start with our AIO.
Okay. Absolutely incredible orange. Now, what does AIO stand for?
So AIO stands for all-in-one. So that's what this is right here. Hayden's putting in the mounting hardware for this. So when we say AIO, this is what that refers to. It is our liquid cooler to cool the processor. And all the coolant's already in here, and our pump is under this plate right here. You can see we've got our copper plate and with thermal paste. That's going to make contact with our processor to cool it. So this is a great way to cool your machine, very easy to install. Most AIOs typically come with quite a few hardware bags for all the different chipsets on motherboards. So you just want to make sure you're grabbing the right one for your chipset. But other than that, they're very easy to install.
It looks like it. And really, Hayden, you just need to hand tighten those.
Yeah.
Any reason to really crank on them?
No. So basically what it's going to do is as soon as you put this on and you drill it down, either drill it down or, use your screwdriver, it's going to tighten that even more. But they usually...
You honestly don't want to go too tight on those standoffs. We've done that before on some, and it can kind of mess up your bracket on the back. So.
I've seen them, snap the plates before. Because, if this were to... if that little... the circles, if those fall off the track, then it isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah.
Nice.
We're going to go ahead and use stock paste.
Yep.
All right, and this comes with it already attached to it. This, of course, is a CLX Quench 360 closed liquid cooler, obviously. Now, Paul, can you explain what that 360 is in reference to?
Can you hear DJ?
What was that, DJ? I think my audio cut out for a sec.
Can you explain what that 360 is in reference to?
Yeah, so that refers to the size of the radiator that we have here. So you can see, I'm going to bend this up a little bit, Hayden. So you can see this is a pretty long AIO, and you can see there's 4 spaces for fans here. So that 360 refers to, we're going to have 3 120 millimeter fans on this AIO. So whenever you hear that size, 120, 240, 360, that's referring to the size of the radiator there.
Gotcha. Are there radiators that are larger than 360s?
There are. So you can go larger. Those will be for 140 millimeter fans and bigger. We typically see those in our open loop builds is really where we see those here. But if you had 140 millimeter fans, you could go with a 280.
Nice.
I actually have a 280.
Yeah, that's right. You do have a 280. Yeah.
And I really need to upgrade to a 360.
Yeah. 360 is the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
Now, Hayden, when we were at DreamHack in Dallas, you saw something on somebody's build with regards to their AIO, and you said that is exactly what you don't want to do with an AIO. What were you referencing to, and what are the tips to mounting that AIO and where you're going to place the radiator in relation to that?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that the person had it upside down. So their tubes were kind of getting kinked up. Kind of something like, I don't know. I can't really show the example. But basically, you have more likely chance of getting air trapped up inside your tubes when you don't want air. You want that fluid to be flowing and not getting trapped.
Right.
And that will throw your thermals off. So...
it was, if I remember correctly, it was actually on the front of the PC, and the tubes went down to the very bottom of the radiator, and it was just a downhill flow the whole time. Like, that's not how that goes in there.
Best practice is to have it at its highest point. So.
Yeah. Yep. Samantha asks, wait, why is today the last chance to get into the giveaway? Isn't there a stream on Thursday? There is a stream on Thursday. It's but this is our final kick stream for the month. Yeah.
Have you already done 1 month on Kick?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I think we've done more than a month.
It always
Or-
flies. The showtime just flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now that we've got that on, what's next?
So
Oh,
Hayden
your
popped in our memory
fans.
there. Yeah, we'll get
Yep.
the fans on the
Big
AIO
ones.
real quick too, and then we'll mount the motherboard into the case.
While we're doing that, those are of course two 16 gig sticks of Geil DDR5-5200 RAM for a total of 32 gigs. That seems to be the current standard.
It's starting to feel
Yeah,
that
it's
way
32.
for sure.
32
Yeah.
is what I got, and I don't see myself going any higher.
I have 32 as well. I just got a really good deal on some memory here, so I went ahead and upgraded. I would still say you're safe to go with 16 though, especially if you're going DDR5.
Like the first, I don't know, this is probably like 2021. There was an article. It's like one of the first articles, and it's like games are going to be soon becoming minimum 16 gigs. I'm like, well, before I get the chance, let's just do it now.
Just do it. Yep. Yep.
And I'm
Yeah.
not upgrading anytime soon. The more you upgrade, I feel like the more you just run into problems.
Yeah, if you've got a stable
yeah,
system, sometimes you don't really want to mess with it.
No, there's no need. Now DJ, on the other hand, with his how much gigs?
I have 64 gigs
Okay, well,
of
that's fine.
DDR5 6000.
Yeah,
that's-
I definitely
That's
went a little
insane.
overboard, but also I'm not going to have to. The only thing that this system might need an upgrade for is the graphics card one day, but
yeah, in 5 years.
not now.
5 years.
Yeah. I've got that 3090 in there, and that thing is wildly powerful.
Yeah, so when you get tired of that, just send that my way.
There you go.
Right? There you go. Yeah, eventually I'll probably upgrade to a white 4090, but only once things start chugging, because the
Yeah.
again, like at 1440p, I'm still getting 200, like Destiny 2 on the highest settings. I'm still getting like 220 frames per second,
That's how it should be.
which is just legit awesome.
Yeah, it's insane.
All right, so you've got those fans on, and which direction are those fans going to be blowing, and is there a preference, or does it actually matter?
Yeah, so that's a good question. These fans are going to be blowing through the radiator or pushing air through. So we call it the push method. If we had them flipped around the other way, that would be pulling air through. So you can have it in a push-pull setup. Pushing is always preferred. There are some cases where if you're building a machine and you got to have them pulling through the radiator, you can do that. It's just preferred to push through. But also, if you have the extra fans and the extra space in your case, you can do a push-pull and put fans on both sides of the radiator. Now, that's pretty rare. We don't see that too often, but we did do that for DJ's machine.
We did do that.
Yeah.
I think originally we were going to do it on top. Was it on top?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it? No, it was.
I think,
It was in the front still.
yeah.
But I had to move the fans to the back of the case because it would fit.
Right, yep.
Yeah. Yep, which is still fun and cool. Just rolling back here, Samantha asked questions, says, how early do you guys build the PCs for the next month's giveaway? And that's usually within the first couple shows of the new month. We always do it on stream, and of course you can check out all of those past builds on our YouTube channel. That is CLX Gaming. Yeah, the summer is definitely flying by. It's kind of wild.
I'm kind of ready to get in the hoodie again,
And,
you know?
I am too. I miss fall.
I'm enjoying the
Black-
summer, though. But, you know, putting on a nice comfy hoodie sounds nice.
I miss the fall.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm just so hilariously jazzed about this name. It's Lagnum PI. That's so awesome. Lagnum PI says, I ordered mine Friday and they're building it today. Nice, dude. Nice. Awesome.
That's great. Yeah, we got some really good lead times going on right now. So if you're wanting to get one quick, now is the time. The holidays are approaching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Holiday season is crazy.
All right, so we're going to mount this motherboard into the case here. Go ahead and get this all framed up. There we go. So what we're looking for right here, I'm going to switch sides with you, Hayden, while you grab that motherboard. So these are our standoffs here. So this is what we're looking at when we're mounting the motherboard into the case. We're going to be setting our motherboard on top of these, and we want to make sure that we have these all in the right position so that they'll match up to the holes on the motherboard. We don't want to have extras in here because that could short out our motherboard, and we don't want to be missing any either. So when Hayden puts this in, that's what he's looking at. I'm going to try to slide this up just a hair. All right. Whenever you're ready, Hayden.
I was born ready.
Born ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready, you know?
And one thing to point out is the special holes, I would say they're special holes, that are intended just for the standoffs. And you can tell they look a little bit different because they have like a sunshine solder pattern on them.
Yeah, so the one I'll just point out, and these are the ones that Hayden's going to be putting screws in, but the top right of this motherboard here, that's what we're looking for, kind of that little star pattern with those solder lands around it. Those are going to be your motherboard mounting holes. Now, on some motherboards, there are holes kind of throughout, but if they don't have those solder lands around them, they're not for mounting your motherboard.
Gotcha. And you really don't want to try to put a point underneath one that doesn't have the solder.
Right, yep. What those contacts do on the motherboard is provide a good ground for these screws since they are connected to the case.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
you also don't want to put the wrong screw through.
Yeah,
If your standoffs are for fine threads, they should be used fine thread screws only. There's different types of standoffs. And
so there are specific screws that need to go in.
Yeah, you have coarse threaded standoffs and fine threaded standoffs. That just refers to the actual threads that are on the screw itself. Now your hardware is going to come with your case, so your case is going to use the motherboard screws that come with your case because they're going to match your standoffs.
Yeah.
because no matter what,
yeah.
those holes on the board are going to be the same size.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. There's a conversation happening about the weather this summer. I know that it has been blazing hot for many different parts of the country. I am very fortunate that it hasn't gotten too nuts yet in Oregon. August is usually when things kind of go a little bit wild. August and the beginning of September. But so like it's been cloudy here the last couple of days. Sitting right in the mid 80s. So
okay, that sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
Highs for 102 today.
Yeah, 102.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty warm all week.
Not a fan.
Let's see here. Today we're gonna have our. Oh yeah, it's only 70 degrees outside right now, and it's looking like we're gonna get. Today's high is actually only 79.
Nice.
I'm okay with that. I dig it. Okay. Let's get those final screws put on there.
Yeah. So
Now I see you screwing something else on. What is that for?
This is going to be for our mounting bracket for our GPU. So our anti-sag bracket. These two posts will come with your case box, and well, it's hard to see. There we go. These posts right here, put those on, and then you'll grab your little bracket, and then that just gets placed right there, and you'll screw it down.
Nice. Viking War 26 says my PC should be coming in either today or tomorrow. That's awesome.
Nice.
Congratulations.
very exciting.
That is super duper exciting.
What games do you plan on playing on it, Viking?
Yeah, good question.
All these plastic.
I just want to order a computer, max it out from you guys, and then just play Roblox.
Yeah, and you know what, Viking, if you can, once you get it all set up, if we have a spot of poster set up in our Discord, we would love to see your PC in there. Just, send us a little video, or you can even tag us and send us something on social media. Yeah, we're always jazzed to see how it turns out and what it's going into. Demon Sen says, Drake's going to be at GCX next weekend, but just know that he is going where it is not only hot, it's also humid, and it will be gross. Yep, actually true.
The cables for the CPU.
CPU cables, yeah. was like, it's already in there, Hayden. You already got it under there.
No, I did not.
Dundee mentions when they get their PC, they're going to be playing Exoprimal, but also going to be using it for college and simulation classes. Nice.
That'd be sick.
Nice.
Well, I am sure it will be powerful enough to handle all of it. So.
That is awesome. All right. So up next, what do we got?
So we are getting our power supply cables out, and I'll go ahead and get our power supply out as well. This is a fully modular power supply, so we're grabbing the CPU
Those
cables so that Hayden can run those before he mounts his radiator.
Because if
it'll
not,
be a pain.
It would be in the way.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Need one more.
And there's two.
Thank you.
Now, as for this power supply, this, of course, is a 1,000 watt Gigabyte 80 plus gold. So this is a powerhouse.
Yeah, this is a big power supply as far as wattage goes.
It should be enough, I would think.
Yeah, 1,000 watts is good. I probably wouldn't go less than that. This is a very high-end build, having the 13900 KF and the 4090. Probably wouldn't go less with less than 1,000 watt. It's always good to have a little bit of overhead for your components. That way your power supply isn't, running as hard as it can to power everything.
Realistically, your CPU isn't drawing a lot of power. It's mainly that GPU.
True.
So, all right, I'm gonna do the back fan, and then I can get the radiator
back fan.
installed.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Let's go ahead.
Now,
I'll rotate this a little bit.
I love how it goes from looking like absolute madness on the back to being so clean when it's all finally done.
Yeah, it starts out pretty wild, and Hayden does a good job of taming it.
Now, I did notice, Hayden, that you've got the radiator sitting on the bottom. Why is it you haven't secured it to the top yet?
Okay, so if I were to do that, I would have to, like Paul was saying, I ran my CPU cables first. Because if I were to put the radiator up there, I have no way to get to my CPU pins efficiently. Same with the back fan. I wouldn't be able to run the back. I can probably install it, but running the actual back fan cable would not, it wouldn't work.
That'd be fun.
So I do the back fan and the CPU cables first. And go from there.
Let's see here. Yeah, massive wires, but yeah, it does look fire. Anytime these guys are working on stuff, it looks absolutely ridiculously good. Yeah, OG Striker says, nice to see someone doing this live and not skipping all the fun parts in the videos. Yeah. And of course, by the way, if anybody here has questions, please feel free to ask. If you hear a term that you're not familiar with, or we say something that just doesn't quite make sense, please ask us, because that is what we love to do. Truly what we love to do. Because most likely, if you're thinking of it, somebody else is thinking of it, they just haven't asked it. So, right? Yeah, OG Striker, I completely agree. It's that whole, this is a complete nightmare. And then we fix it. But yeah. When I pulled my back off just to look at I pulled the back of mine off just to show it, because the paint job on it, and again, even though I watched you build it, Hayden, I look back there, I'm just like, oh.
Well, I'm glad you like it, DJ.
Yeah. I have to go replug in the whatever the wire is for my my cap.
Capture card?
My AIO cap.
Oh.
Yeah.
It should be right. Did you get the Infinity Mirror one?
Yeah.
It should if you plugged right in. To the
it's just loading. It's only lighting up on one side and not changing colors. So I'm like, all right, I gotta figure.
It's probably
just
popped out.
Yeah, just came undone. And of course, Ivory says there's no stupid questions, only stupid codes. First 100 people, Kick Dex GC 53. That's gift certificate 53. 100 people are going to get 100 entries extra into the CLX giveaway in partnership with Beacon and Kick. Check that out. That bad boy right there is what you will be winning. Looks great. It's in our brand new NV7 case. It's got that incredible angle on the bottom fans. It's got great rotational airspeed. It's going to be awesome. Tech checking in. Oh, Brugglesby says, IT Tech checking in. That PC in the background needs to progress through its OS installation. Okay, back to lurking. Great job. Yes. And wire management is very important, Dundee. Since that's being brought up, Paul, why is cable management absolutely essential, especially when you're dealing with powerful accessories like we've got going in?
Yeah, so the practical reason for it is less obstructions to airflow. But honestly, my opinion on why you want is, like, this is a really high-end machine. You want it to look great as well. I really like it from an aesthetic point of view, and just like everything should be clean. You don't want to spend a good amount of money on a PC and open it up and just be spaghetti everywhere. So I just really like the look of having it all clean, and it's really helpful when you're upgrading or doing any troubleshooting, anything like that.
Biggest thing, it's
The
not just
upgrading,
aesthetics, but like second for me it would be upgradability.
Yeah.
If you need to go do something, like change out all the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you know all your fans are bundled up in one pile, so just go in there, clip it.
Yeah, you don't want to pull your back panel off and just have this mess and try to dig through everything, and then you got to worry about tucking it all back in.
Now, here's a fun little factoid question. Is there a difference between the CLX AIO versus the Enermax or other, or versus Enermax other than just aesthetics?
So there will be a little bit of a performance difference. Nothing super noticeable though. Pretty much it's just aesthetics. Now, if you're wanting to go with a really high-end AIO, the Fantex Glacier 1 is very good. I would definitely look at that one. I believe the Leon Lee one. Yeah, the Leon Lee one is really nice. The fans are really cool on the Leon Lee as well.
It kind of boils down to aesthetics.
Yeah, it really does.
I think every one of the AIOs is, does what an AIO should do.
Hayden was actually doing testing across all of our models of AIOs to just, go over them again and see if there's any issues. So.
We have one question coming in here. Pagla asks, what Leon Lee dynamic case variant is that? Is it the XL? It is the XL. It is a full-size tower. It's an incredible case that can be customized. We've got Constant who asks, wow, custom print jobs. Is there a way to get any designs printed? And who is the designer? Excellent question.
Yes, you can definitely have your design submitted in and work with our guys to get a custom print design for you. Kyle is the one who does all the designs here and does most of the printing as well.
Dundee asks, is AMD getting into AIOs too, or is it GPU besides processors and anything besides processors and motherboards?
So I haven't seen AMD making like their own AIO. That would be news to me.
I haven't heard anything.
So there's definitely AIOs for AMD processors. Like this AIO would work for an AMD processor. We would just have to have the right mounting hardware for it.
I feel like back in the day, it was you had two different types of coolers. Like you had to have a certain amount. Now you can just do whatever you want as long as you have the mounting hardware.
Right. Yeah.
Just swap between Intel and AMD.
We've got a question coming in from FLC Jams. Which one is better, Intel or AMD? They ask.
That's the question right there. So really, it comes down to your preference. What are you doing with the machine? What do you wanting to see? Which one are you a bigger fan of? I typically lean a little bit more towards the Intel side. I
am personally a fan of Intel as well.
Yeah, but the new, like the 7800X CPU is making me thinking about switching to AMD. So it really comes down to what are you using it for and personal preference.
Now, if you want to go cheap, like budget, Ryzen is definitely
like low end Ryzen. Yeah.
I use both. So I have Intel processor in my gaming machine, and I have an AMD processor in my production machine. I've just always used AMD when it came to music production, video production, and so for streaming and all of that, that's all I have an AMD powered machine there. So some people really prefer to game on AMD. Some people prefer to game on Intel. I think it's a preference based on experience. So
yeah, my bias towards Intel was always they ran cooler back in the day, so I felt like you'd get a little bit more longevity out of it doing that. However, with the new stuff, everything's running a lot hotter than what we had seen before, so you really can't say one is necessarily cooler than the other now.
I feel like,
but that's probably where my bias is.
Yeah,
is just
I don't know.
Running
When
back in the day.
First got into like PCs and building and all that, I heard like probably just rumors, but Intel was just better at doing Windows applications and like just running smoother. But now it's literally whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I feel like the difference is there used to be a much bigger gap of differences between the two, and really now I mean, they're just both awesome now.
Yeah, lots of really good stuff. In fact, the PC we built for Drake is a fully AMD build.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I did some testing on the
Ryzen and Radeon in there.
Yeah, that's a beast.
I think now with
people
Ryzen
order
2, AMD has been benefiting more from higher speed memory, so that's probably another like a good practical reason. If you're building a machine, are you going with a higher speed memory? Then maybe you want to lean more towards AMD to get more the most bang for your buck out of your memory.
FLC asks a good question. If people order a PC from CLX Gaming, how long does it take to arrive in the UK?
Yeah, so that just depends kind of on our lead time at the moment. So if you go to our website and you configure one, it'll tell you, when our build time and when to expect it to ship. So that's how you can tell from there. And then you can pick a different shipping method if you want it to get there sooner, or however you want that to be. But we do change that time based on our volume. So just because you see 5 days today doesn't mean that won't change down to 2 days or 6 days later on. We like to keep that as accurate as possible.
Yeah,
so.
And like Paul was saying earlier, order now sooner rather than later, because holidays coming up. And
once holidays come up, our lead time does extend.
Yeah, it's gonna get super busy. Super busy.
It's gonna be a fun Black Friday.
But if you get like a full size, any one of the raw series PCs, it'll come in one of these. They call it the sarcophagus. It is a giant wooden crate, and it is packed in a box inside there with has more foam than you could shake a stick at. So, lots of good stuff on that one. Welcome to all the new viewers. Been a minute since I've been back here since last week. Ultimate Loser says, "Oh, by the way, what's up, Ultimate?
Ultimate winner.
Ultimate Loser is one of our winners. Was one of our winners for I want to say it was June. Yeah. Yep, June. He says the performance with Windows favored Intel for quite a while because that is specifically what Microsoft was optimizing for. It is also one of the reasons Cyrix didn't last.
There you go. That's kind of what you were
I'll be honest,
Hayden.
I'm not sure what Cyrix was. Interesting. FLC asks, what is the best graphic card you guys have?
So right now it'd probably be the 4090. We do have the Radeon high-end cards as well as 7900 XTX. So those be our highest end cards right now. I'm sure we're all kind of waiting for the 4090 Ti. I'm assuming that's going to be coming out. I haven't seen anything about it, but they have to, right?
They do.
They've got to make one.
They have to make one.
So.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, getting those fans all connected in the back. Now we've got basically 6 fans pulling air in and 4 fans blowing air out. So that is considered positive pressure. What is the difference between a positive pressure and negative pressure environment for your PC?
Yeah, so positive pressure is just like you said, DJ. We got more air coming in than coming out, whereas negative pressure is you have more air going out than coming in. Now I'm pretty much cool with either way, as long as it's not heavily, skewed in one direction or the other. But why you typically want to go with a positive pressure over a negative pressure is a negative pressure creates a vacuum inside your whole machine. So all these little crevices and stuff, dust is going to be getting pulled into your machine and kind of skipping through the filters. So I'd recommend always going with at least a neutral pressure or a slightly positive pressure.
Yep. Fully agree. There we go.
Fan controller
These
box.
ones.
Alrighty. Now, fan controllers are very interesting. Let's talk about how those work.
Yeah, so you can see what Hayden grabbed right there. We'll get these on camera as well. These are our fan controller boxes. So all of our fans get plugged into these boxes there that you see that he's got in his hand, and then they're controlled via a remote. So these fan controllers can take 8 fans in each box. We're obviously doing 10 fans, so that's why we need 2 fan controllers. There's a cable that you can see right here. This will, I guess not that one. There's another cable that will allow them to be daisy chained together, and that way they will all 10 fans, even though they're controlled with 2 different controllers, will sync up with the remote.
All right, we've got, let's see here. Cyclone, hi, good question. How do you know the pressure is right? Or the pressure is, if it's positive, it's because you've got more air pushing in than you do pushing out.
Yeah, so pressure is really something that I wouldn't be too concerned about if you're building a machine at home. Just make sure that you've got close to an equal amount of intake versus exhaust fans. And if you have an odd number, go with an extra intake fan versus exhaust.
Let's see here. And what's up, the announcer? Yeah, those Link fans are actually really cool. Now, as far as fans go, these, of course, we're using the Gamdias Aeolus M2 ARGB fans. These are pretty standard. As far as performance goes, they definitely do the job.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, these provide great airflow. Pretty much all fans nowadays are going to perform great. Kind of back in the day when I started building PCs, you really paid attention to which fan you were putting in your system and which one you were using as a case fan versus a radiator fan. Well, nowadays, all the fans are really solid. So I feel like most people, including myself, really just go off looks for fans. So these ones have RGB, obviously, in the ring, and then the blades have RGB as well. That's what we used in our giveaway system, so you can see that in our kick system over there as well.
Okay. And so we did have a question of, is it possible to build a PC without a graphics card? It is, and like they mentioned in the chat, you just need to make sure that your processor has onboard graphics, but you will be very limited to what you can do with that device. Best Wi-Fi card? I would say virtually all the boards that we offer have Wi-Fi built into them. Just about all of them.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is starting to be pretty common on just your base level boards and higher end, and they all pretty much everything nowadays has the current revision of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as well. There are some better wireless cards if you're really needing that faster speed wireless. But pretty much if you're buying a current generation motherboard, the Wi-Fi on it's going to be good enough.
Yeah. Let's see here. Jayhawk says, I need to get you to build me a streaming PC and one with a capture card. You know, it's funny.
Yeah, we could do that.
We actually do offer capture cards in the accessories and peripherals section on our website. So, yeah. That's like, you can pick one up. There's a lot of different companies that make them. I'm personally an AverMedia fan. I know we offer Elgato on the website, but yeah. And yes, we are using a 1,000-watt power supply. Absolutely correct. Agent Doomsday asks, how do I participate in the giveaway? Well, you're going to click on the link. Somebody just click on that link above that says join the Kick and Beacon giveaway bundle here. And then you're going to follow the instructions on there. And there's many different ways to earn new and multiple entries into it, especially like the codes that we've been giving out today, the code I will be giving out on stream a little bit later today. So make sure you all come by, because I believe I'm going to do my unlimited today. So, and that means 200 entries for everybody who's there, but you have to get it by playing a game. We'll talk a little about that over there. Like baseball, shut up. Agent Doomsday, so the code, if you look down, once you've got your initial followage done, there's all sorts of different things that you can do. And down on the towards the bottom, it says bonus entries or enter bonus code. And you can enter the bonus code there, and it will apply a specific number of entries. Now, we have some limited so that it's only the first 100 people can get it, or 50 or 25. And then we have our unlimiteds that are for anybody to use once. So, yeah. So, Damon asks, if you have 3 fans in the front, 3 fans on the top, and 1 in the back, how would you set that up?
Yeah, so for that,
I'm not understanding.
Do you have if you have a radiator in the system, I would mount your radiator to the top, and then do 3 of your fans in the front for your intake, 3 on the top on that radiator exhausting, and the 1 in the rear exhausting as well. So you would actually have 4 exhausting, but if you got a radiator on there, that's going to reduce the airflow as opposed to not having it, so that should balance out your system. Now, if you don't have a radiator, I would go ahead and put the 3 fans in the front as your intake, look around your case for another option for an intake spot, and put 1 of those fans as intake, and then the other 1 in the rear and 2 in the top exhausting.
Theoretical maximum entries is like 6,000 entries, Pogla says. Yeah, ish. And remember, it only takes 1 entry to win. The Surf will automatically choose the winner, and then we'll notify them and announce it, of course, on the very first stream of the month. So,
do you know?
Let's see.
What case you have, Damon? If you have a case, we can give you a better recommendation for fan placement.
Okay, so OG Striker mentions, why do you all want your hot air going past your radiator? It says, I mount them up front.
Yeah, so mounting your radiator in the front, if you have front mounted an area to do that, you know, we do that as well, like in the Evolve X, like that's what I have at home. So I have my radiator mounted in the front. Now, when we're prioritizing our radiator placement here, we don't want it, we want to be pushing air through ideally, so that's why we have it up top. And yes, there will be case air coming in that will be a little warmer than the outside air, but the advantage to having this up top as opposed to below and making sure no air gets in our pump outweighs the air temperature difference that will be going through it.
And let's see here. We've got, Damon says that it is a Corsair Carbide Air 540.
Okay.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely built a couple of those here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah,
and we can give you a
Soft
good
Willie says,
recommendation.
Soft Willie, that's hilarious. Says, how much money do you think I should burn on a PC and all the proper equipment to stream? I'll be honest, if you're gonna invest in it, just do it right and future-proof it so that you're not having to spend more money on things later. You want to make sure you've got a decent camera, you've got a great mic. I personally use all Logitech gear for me, but if that's also going to be including your PC, you're probably looking, if you want to get a really great system, especially if you're going to be streaming and gaming on the same system, you need to get something fairly powerful. I would say plus the PC, you're looking at minimum $3 or $4 grand. Let's see here. What's the current build worth? What y'all are building for, and that y'all are building for the giveaway. Oh, the giveaway one is behind there. I don't remember what the actual value on that was, but it's a pretty hardcore machine. Way too much. OG Striker says way too much. So I'm a full-time content creator and a professional, like, streamer and gamer. That's what I do. And again, if I had done it in reverse, because I got what I could afford at the time, It started out very low. Over time, I kept upgrading. But if I'd have just spent the money on the stuff that was right up front and kind of did my research a little more, then I wouldn't have had to spend the extra money upgrading from basically legacy gear. But that's just coming from me. You just starting getting on streaming and getting any tips? Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely say this: be you. Be authentically you. Authenticity is so important when you're streaming content. Your personality does shine through, especially if you're engaging and interacting with the audience. And remember one important thing: we all started with one viewer, and we moved on from there. So that's just all that's really the only advice I can really give. Don't look at the numbers. Don't worry about that. Worry about establishing yourself, getting into your flow, getting comfortable with your content. And then once you've got that solidly down, you're going to notice that there is going to be an uptick. Make sure you're using your social media outlet for advertising and for marketing. And go to events. It's a great opportunity to meet other content creators. It's a great opportunity to kind of get your name out there, to be seen. So, yeah, Patrick's is out of control.
Yeah, it is. So I've got that Air 540 pulled up here on my tablet here, Damon. So this is a case that it looks like if you're running 5 fans, you're probably going to want to have 2 of your intakes in the front, 2 exhausts in the top, and 1 exhaust in the back. So this would be a slightly negative pressure system. But I do see 2 hard drive trays in the bottom. If you're not using both of those, you might be able to take out one of those hard drive trays and put in an extra intake fan in the bottom of the case. So I'm not 100% sure if you can do that on this case. If you can, that's what I would do. These pictures look pretty cool. They even got like a push pole in the top, which I like that. They've got like dual video cards and a push pole up top. I like that. Expectation met
says, is the giveaway US only? Actually, no, it's not. It is a global giveaway. Now, we say global with little asterisks. There are some countries that we cannot be involved because it's illegal and a violation of their own laws. And so therefore we do have a list of countries. If you click on the link and go to the page, you'll see where it says list of countries. You can click it. There's like 209 countries there, and it will and you can just find your country on there. Yeah.
Power supply.
Power supply.
Damon mentions there's no place to screw it into.
Screw it in on the bottom. Yeah, then just do 2 in the front for your intakes, and then 2 up top and 1 in the back will be your exhaust.
Absolutely. All right, now we're getting all the cables plugged in for the power supply.
How many for the video card? 4?
4. Yep.
4.
Which we'll go ahead and get our video card out right now. Kind of the star of the show.
Nice. Now, who made this?
So we have a...
Which version
This is the Zotac 4090. It's probably my favorite 4090 that's out there right now.
Yeah.
Just from the
these are
looks
gorgeous.
of it.
Of course, these 4090s come with 24 gigs of GDDR6 video RAM, which is amazing. Got a lot of great questions today. Elman just said, never got a clear answer on something. Can I listen to music while streaming on Kick, or is that illegal? There are plenty of... I mean, you can make the choice to do what you want to do, but there's royalty-free options that will allow you to play their music, and you don't have to worry about any type of DMCA. With that being said, if you're licensed by any brands or music labels, then you can play their music as well, because they're not going to give you a DMCA strike. I'm signed with 4 different labels for my DJing, and so I can play any of their music anytime I want to. Cyclone says my 2080 Ti Zotac is still going strong. We'll probably upgrade later this year, though. Nice. Also, for those of you looking for a code, guess what? We got one. It's unlimited. 200 entries for everybody to grab it. Get it now. It's Kick-PGII. That is PGII. Probably great influencer interactions.
Bounce one off that.
Greed Heaven asks, when is the giveaway? Well, we're going to be doing that at the end of the month, and then we'll announce the winner on our very first stream back in August. Now, this show happens Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, yeah, right? It's pretty good. I love it. So, yeah, we do it on Tuesdays here, Thursdays there, and there you go. Once again, this card, the beauty of this card is the shape. It's so fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I need one more, please.
One more Seda?
Yep. Thank you.
There you go.
So let's take a look at this card. Paul, what are some of the things that stand out about this card to you?
So I just love like the oval look. This almost reminds me of like an alien spaceship, which I really like. And just this obviously looks very big, but it's not too heavy, honestly. It's pretty lightweight as far as a 4090 goes. Now we've obviously got our fins here to reduce or to increase our heat dissipation. But yeah, I just love the look of it. It's got some RGB going on, nothing too wild, but I just love the design of the heat shield on it.
Yeah, I agree. When you said the fact that you said spaceship, now I completely see it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely see it.
Yeah, the oval design kind of breaks up the monotony of the rectangle cards.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're getting that out and getting ready to put together, since we did have a question about do we sell PCs, I figure maybe this is the right time to talk about our incredible website. I probably should have messaged Jason and said, hey, let's do that. But here we go. At CLX Gaming, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to build the PC of your dreams and make sure that it meets all of your needs. You can choose multiple different sizes of cases, multiple different options for graphics cards, processors, motherboards. You make the choice. Don't worry, though. If you choose something that's not compatible, it's that little yellow button up top, it's going to change from green to yellow, and it's going to say, hey, you got to solve a problem. So say that you've chosen, for example, here, we've got a Horus Neo case chosen. Well, the liquid cooler that was selected doesn't necessarily fit. So you have to either choose a different liquid cooler or choose a different case. Similarly, like if you were to choose a DDR5 board, but you chose DDR4 RAM, it'll tell you, and then that button will go back to green. That way, when it goes to testing, everything's going to work just fine. Now, you can choose everything from internal components, whether you want it to be overclocked, just the CPU, the GPU. These are all things that you have in there. If you need a capture card, if you need various different elements, there's peripherals as well as software. Plus, we've also got clothing in the peripherals, some really amazing windbreakers and shirts and things. But we got speakers, headphones, controllers, you name it, we got it on here. And it's okay, though, if you don't feel like building your own PC, because I'll be honest, it is a task. It's fun if you know what you're doing. We have plenty of ready-to-ship models that run the gamut from pre-designed to you get to make some options. They're all here. They're all amazing. And all you have to do is go to clxgaming.com. So for all of your computer needs, come on over and say hi at clxgaming.com. Ta-da! There we go. And if you have a question about anything that you see on the site, you can always contact our customer service. They are truly an amazing group of people. Let's see here. Mizzy says, the Radeon, I missed something up here. Is the Radeon RX 5700 XT a good graphics card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good graphics card. It all depends on what you're playing. It's definitely a higher end one. So, yeah, it's a good card.
Mizzy says, I have a 3070 Ti, and it's nice if you need a different option. There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. Cyclone asks, do you all stream customer builds? Yeah, this is actually what we're doing right now. This is going to Jacob in Iowa. So, Dundee asks, is a micro PC a cheaper budget option if you wanted to have a current gen PC, but without all the giant space a case can take up? That is a great question.
Micro PC
Paul,
cheaper than a cheaper budget option. So, ITX stuff can be more expensive, honestly.
This home theater build that I'm building.
Yeah. Now, typically, and why that is the cases take a lot more engineering for those, because obviously you're cramming everything into a smaller box. But typically with those, like we've done a few on the show, you have to buy, and not all of them, but some of them you have to buy a special power supply that still has the high enough wattage, but is in a smaller form factor. So that would be a SFX power supply. So really, it obviously depends on your components, but the micro PCs can get more expensive than a full tower build.
If you're serious about it and you have a set budget and you get everything added up and it's over budget, I would probably cut back on the board. You can go for a cheaper board with the same, generation of processor or whatever that you're gonna pick. Other than that, there's really no cutting corners.
Yeah.
Nice. So Lagnum PI, whose PC is actually being built right now in our warehouse, says that the build today has an RTX 3080 Ti and a Ryzen 7 5700G octa-core. Nice. That sounds like a great build.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, that's what's nice. If you order one of our PCs on our website, you get a notification once through every step of the way, when it's pulled, when it's built, when it's tested, when it's shipped.
Kev Sucks asks if should I upgrade my 3060 Ti or my 5600X?
I would consider both of those kind of at the same level. So I would say, depending on what game you're playing, you probably want to go with a video card. Typically, you're going to get better performance in games with upgrading your video card versus your processor, and that 5600X is great. But I really like the 3060 Ti too. So I guess if I was in your shoes, I'd say video card.
Read Heaven, I know what you meant, but I read that first one and it was hard to not laugh. It says, okay, I'm streaming, but he wrote streaming and I can just imagine somebody yelling at their MacBook. I'm streaming on a MacBook. Can your CLX set run games well, such as Warzone? Abso-friggin-lutely. It's just a matter of choosing the right components. Yep.
I mean, you could do what I did for like 4 years and just emulate Windows 10 on your MacBook before I had a PC.
There you go.
Omizzy asks, let's see here, what's the best keyboard in your opinion? Honestly, the Logitech G915 TKL. This is what I use. It's thin, it's quiet, it's freaking amazing. It's wireless, but also easy to charge. So, stunning performance. Speaking of easy to charge, I need to charge it. Its battery is going dead. Okay.
Look at all those video card cables coming through.
Nice. That's what I wanted. Oh, there it is. See, and I just have to plug it back in. It'll be charged in about 20 minutes. Ta-da! Okay, let's get back to questions. So many questions. Here's a question that I've got. What happens once we finish building customers' PCs? Where do they go?
Good question. So once the PC is done being built and it powers on, it goes to our testing and integration department. So the first thing we do there is get into our BIOS. We'll make sure all of our RAM speed is set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up, and maybe mess with a couple other settings in your BIOS depending on the build of the system. Then after your BIOS is set, we actually load the operating system, any games that you may have picked on our website, any browsers that you prefer. But if you don't pick any games or any browser, you just get a fresh install of Windows. There's no bloatware on our machines. That's something we pride ourselves on. If you just want a fresh install of Windows, that's what you get. We really like that. And then after that's been loaded, or any games that you may have picked on the website, we put the system through a 12-hour stress test. So we primarily use 3D Mark as our benchmarking software, but there are a couple other options that we look at depending on the build. But running it through a test for 12 hours allows us to catch any components that the system will turn on and run, but once they get into a gaming environment, they start to fail. It allows us to catch those there and replace them in our shop and make sure that you get a stable machine.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And so, Seb, I know you asked that, and you're absolutely right. And that's one of the things that I've just always been super amazed with when it comes to one of the many reasons why I love CLX, and that is the fact that there is no bloatware. Having worked at Microsoft, that was one of the things that, at the Microsoft stores, we prided ourselves a lot on, was it was just Windows, none of the other garbage. In fact, when we had other companies' PCs that were there, we ordered them from those companies only with Windows, and they weren't allowed to put anything else on them. So, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Can I buy colored cable sleeves from you guys? Stoner said, yes, you can. We've got so many options. It's actually really cool. I have white ones on mine. You can get white and black. You can get black, red. Yeah, and they're really great. They come with a comb feature on them. They're fun. How do you get to the accessories area? So if you're on the page where I would click so if you click raw on the right, or any of the other ones, raw, set, Horus, Scarab, you'll be taken to our configurator page. And so you'll see 5 silver bars. It starts with chassis, then core, then the foundry software, and on the very last one is the accessories. So if you click on that, you'll see all the options from chairs to routers, USBs, different types of packaging, security speakers, the whole 9 yards. It's all there. Kid Mars is like, I need to win. Uh-oh. I hear that. It was very interesting when we were at DreamHack, when we were rebuilding or upgrading 5 different people's systems. It was great.
I like it.
Do we have to be present when the giveaway is announced? Absolutely not. So the Surf, who's the company that manages and does that, will notify the winner once we tell it to, and then that one will be notified. We'll be announcing it live on the stream, so I would highly recommend that you get here for the August 1st stream, because that's the day we're gonna announce it. It'll be fun. And then of course you'll have 24 hours to respond, or else it'll get redrawn. Jackson Wademan asks, what's the value of this PC? This PC is currently running 4522. Speaking of which, I noticed that Paul is working on the secondary storage drive. So obviously the operating system is going to go on the 1 terabyte Patriot M.2 that's attached to the motherboard. This is a 4 terabyte, 3.5-inch Western Digital hard disk drive. And that's just going to slide right in there like that. Yeah, click it, and it's ready to go.
Yep, and like we mentioned, that's hitting the back of our bay there. That is automatically plugging it into our SATA connections. So that's probably my favorite thing about this case, is that once you have your SATA connections plugged in, you can just plug and play.
Yeah. Just make sure you're actually plugging it into the motherboard, or it won't detect.
Yeah.
Kid Mr. Lust says, I need a cheap GPU. Guys, what would be I would say an economically appropriate
3060.
GPU?
Yeah, I was gonna
3060's prices
say 3060.
are like,
and if the 3060 is too expensive, honestly, I would just save up for another couple weeks, months, whatever you need, and go with a 3060. That's going to be the best bang for your buck. Now, the 4060 is also a great option, so if that's within your budget, I'd go with that too. But we are about to put this 4090 in. This thing is huge.
Nice. True Blue fan, True Blue, hi, another fellow Blue, asks, is the new Gen 5 Ryzen any good? Good question.
New Gen 5 Ryzen.
I don't know.
The new gen's like, yeah. I don't know if you're referring to like the 5th gen, like the 56, 7, 56, 57,
or if you're
58.
referring to like a Ryzen 5.
Yeah. So, but yeah, either way, both of those gens are really good. Like I was saying earlier, I'm typically biased towards Intel. That's pretty much the only thing I run in my machines, but the performance on the Ryzen 7s, specifically the 7800X, is making me think about switching whenever I upgrade next.
Yep. Ultimate Loser's like, yeah, nope, but you need to claim it within 24 hours of your name being pulled. Experience speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you lucked out, honestly.
You are the ultimate winner.
Like, yeah, like, again, it was hilarious when it came back again. We're like, really? But yeah, got an incredible system, especially with all of that gear. With Atmo Esports.
It was the Atmo one.
Yeah, he won the Atmo.
We got so many giveaways. I don't remember which one's which.
Right.
That Atmo one was really cool though.
Yeah, and then Pixart says August 1st at what time? All of our shows start at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 Eastern. Tuesdays are here on Kick, and Thursdays are on the Purple. So let's see here. Next question coming in is first still viable. Yes. Yeah, DDR4 is still viable, but yeah, it's a good value to upgrade to DDR5.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, DDR4 is definitely still the standard. DDR5 being at the leading edge. Obviously, I would say 6 months to a year, we'll start seeing that shift where DDR5 is the standard, and stays for a while until DDR6 comes out.
Superhorse asks, are you concerned about GPU weight down? And interestingly enough, that is like from this top shot, you can see where that GPU sag bracket brace is already mounted right there above.
That's what Hayden's putting in right now. It's very hard to see because it tucks up in and holds the GPU. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. If we can go back to the overhead real quick. Yep. We'll get this at an angle.
You can see
so
the
you can
little
see that. Go ahead
L
and
bracket.
put your
There it
finger
is.
on that, Hayden. So you can see the bracket there, but that little piece right there, all those holes in that bracket, that arm that Hayden just pointed at slides up and down, and then you put the set screw in there once you've got it right to hold it in place.
It can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. And it's easier to install when it's laying on its back because then you're not having it sag down while you're trying to do it. So FLC Jam says, do you need thermal paste on the CPU and the GPU?
So yes.
Yes.
That's the answer to your question. Yes. And the thermal paste is what you apply on your CPU. Now your GPU, it's already got it on there from the factory. So you don't need to mess with it at all. Unless you're open looping, which is when you take the cooler off and then you get really into that.
I recently did take apart my GPU, reapplied thermal pads and thermal paste, and temperatures went down a lot. So
you can see that mess of wires that was there is now turned into this. Now this will tuck up a little bit once we get our cable management panel on here. We will shift this around and get everything a little bit more pushed in. But yeah, that mess turned into all that.
Oh, I just saw. I'm like pasta.
no
Then I
pasta
realized-
needed.
Then I just read thermal pasta. Okay, got it. How long does it take to? Oh, good question. How long does it take you to build each PC?
About 30 seconds.
Yeah. No, Hayden is one of our fastest builders. And we were kind of taking our time. We like to take our time on the show, but I mean, we've been going at it for a little over an hour now. You can probably bust one of these out in 45 minutes, though. When you go up to 10 fans, it adds a lot of time. If I was building this, I would need at least an hour, 15, hour and a half. Hayden's a lot faster than I am.
When we started the show, of course, Hayden had power tools, and because that's what he usually uses a power tool. We had to take away his power tools on the show because he was going so fast. I didn't have time to cover all of the elements, and he all of a sudden had the motherboard together and was mounting things on him. I'm still talking about the CPU. I'm like, oh God, how
They
did this
made
happen?
me go out and buy a screwdriver.
We didn't make you buy one. We just said you couldn't use the drill. You could have used my dad's screwdriver,
hate
which
that
I don't know
screwdriver.
where that thing is.
Where'd it go?
Did one of you guys throw it away? I loved that
Throw it away. I haven't
screwdriver.
seen it since last Tuesday.
Oh, man.
It'd be tragic if
Scrooge,
it fell away.
Yeah.
Scrooge OG says, hello guys, what camera are you using for streaming? My camera is a Logitech Brio 4K. I've got it set for 1080p, so I've got it at 60 FPS. So that's why it's kind of smooth. But then it's also being piped through vMix. I'm not sure what kind of cameras that Jason has set up.
We've got a couple different ones,
Yeah,
but
we
the
got
two
DSLRs.
main ones that we
I know
use,
that they are DSLRs.
We have like 4 in here.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cameras set up throughout here. But the one that you're looking at right now, yeah, it's a DSLR. I'm not sure what model, but it is a very nice camera, I will say that.
My other camera is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Cam Pro 4K. Yeah. So you can go gigantic and ridiculous. You can go basic and not so heavy. There we go. Yeah, they're fun. God, I love the look of this build. It's just a gorgeous build. It truly is.
It is. All right, you got that, Hayden.
Let's see here. Is there more people in that building to build more PCs or just the 2? Oh, no. They've got a bunch of builders.
probably
Our show builders, Tuesdays are Hayden, Thursdays or Zach. But how many builders do you actually think you have?
It fluctuates a little bit, but
Oh,
probably
no.
about, those are kind of my people. Probably about 20 right now. It'll go up quite a bit in the busy season once we hit the holidays, but yeah.
Currently in the building right now? Yeah.
Nice.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. We'll get a few. We've been talking about getting a few more of them up here. I think we should give Jose a shot,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think so. We do a Wednesday show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. True Blue says, when the PC is shipped abroad, is there usually a tax covering? That is a question I do not know.
So I'm not sure. I know we reach out and get tax information because something to do with the giveaway. I'm not exactly sure the legalities behind it, but Ultimate Loser could probably tell you how that worked.
Also true.
So we're getting this framed up, and then we'll be good to get it turned on.
Brando
it definitely does
Blazeweed,
depend on the
bald
country.
fool. It's funny. My father said the same thing to me. Captain Crunch, what's going on?
All right, does this look
How's
good
it
to you,
going?
Jason? Rotate it a little bit.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mr. It's got a 4090 in it. Absolutely agreed. Just got to angle it. Yeah.
Get it all the right angels.
Okay. Moment of truth. Let's do it.
We ready?
Yeah.
Hit it. You got it plugged in.
I pressed the wrong button.
There you go.
You're pressing the right
It's
button.
higher.
There we
It's
go.
higher.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There we go. It's even got that. There we go. That red stripe right there,
Yeah,
which
look
is
at that
so
stripe.
perfect on this.
Mhm.
It's an absolutely beautiful build. Let's go over one more time everything that's inside this incredible raw PC for Jacob in Iowa. This has a custom raw 011 XL full tower. It's powered by it's got an Intel Core i9 13900KF processor that's mounted on an MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi board with 32 gigs of DDR5-5200 RAM from Geil. It also has an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 graphics card. The primary operating system will be mounted on a 1 terabyte Patriot P300 NVMe M.2, and of course the secondary storage is a 4 terabyte 3.5-inch Western Digital Blue hard disk drive. The cooling solution for our processor is a CLX Quench 360 closed loop liquid cooler. We've got 10 different Gamdias Aeolus M2A RGB fans, and it's all powered by a 1,000 watt Gigabyte 80 plus gold power supply unit. There we go. So, excellently done. Excellently done. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks great.
Yeah,
Big
been a
fan.
while.
So,
since
with
the
that being-
the raw design, so it's
Yeah.
cool to see another one.
So we are going to go. So here's how the show goes. We've got two different parts of the show today. We got our main show here, and then we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Hayden, as Hayden basically speed builds through multiple different things. You get to see him at full speed, which is actually kind of fun. If you are still looking for more codes, I've got an unlimited code that I'll be having on my channel over here on Kick a little bit later today. And you definitely want to get that. It's 200 entries for that. You can get codes by hanging out in chat right here on the show on Kick and over on the Purple. Plus, you can also find them sometimes in our Discord. If you want to hang out with a lot of like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, head on over to discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter at CLX Gaming, and of course over on Twitch at CLX Gaming TV. So with that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. And for our break today, we've got something special. Jason worked really, really hard to come up with a great way to show everybody our adventure at DreamHack Dallas back at the beginning of June. It was an incredible opportunity. The whole build team, we got to meet, everybody on the show got to meet together. It was grand. So with that being said, we're going to cut to that in just a moment. So on behalf of Jason in production, Paul and Hayden, I'm DJ BluePDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after this. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.